You witness someone stealing food while you're grocery shopping, what do you do? Totally happened to me several years ago. I was with my daughter, 7 at the time, and we were at the checkout. This is at one of the old school grocery stores where they still have a guy who bags all your things and puts them in a buggy. While the cashier was scanning things, I noticed the bagger, an elderly man probably around 70-something, take a handful of the grapes I bought and slip some into his pocket. For a moment I was a bit bewildered since they had been weighed and now I'm short like half a bunch of grapes. I didn't say anything. The whole time I'm walking to my car, I'm having this internal debate about whether I should inform management or not. I probably sat in my car for the longest thinking about it. I decided to call the store manager and inquire about that particular employee and said I was concerned that he might not be eating lunch or have enough food at home without mentioning him stealing my grapes. Turns out I was right. Post phone call, the manager followed up with me later and the guy was literally having to choose his medication over eating. Someone in HR was able to help him out with affording it and he got a nice little bonus. That girl appreciated your kindness. You helped her move past her guilt and she cannot find words to thank you enough. He was just trying to assert dominance. Only exception was working at a freaking department store, and this old rich guy came in. His wife spending 4 digits through the store, he ate 4 candy bars from store while yelling at employees and making everyone miserable, threw the trash on the floor like it was nothing. LP called the cops on his ass when he checked out without paying for any candy. He got perma-banned and a nice ticket from the cops. Asshole. Otherwise I don't care. Eat the damn $3 candy. Fuck that corporation. Former grocery store manager here, depends on what they're stealing. Are they stealing an entire cart full of non-necessities? Alcohol, junk food, cosmetics, etc. Yeah, I'm gonna call the cops, and I will press charges. Are they stealing vegetables, basic meats, and pantry staples? Yeah, I didn't see shit, and I wouldn't allow any of my employees to see anything either. On several occasions, I would coupon out some of the regulars who I knew were struggling to make ends meet. I regularly let employees take food home as long as they weren't purposely creating waste in order to take it home. I was in charge of security for the store. Literally no one else even knew how to work the camera system, and it was an old system that didn't connect to corporate. If I didn't want it seen, it didn't happen. People need to eat. You are a good person. Used to work for Kohl's and when I saw anyone stealing food I'd just suddenly have to go to a few aisles over for an unknown reason. Thing corporate assholes don't seem to understand is people need to eat, and people don't always have the money to eat. Most the time these people feel terrible about what they're doing and most the time I'll make damn sure they got away with it even if they never knew I was onto them. Me and a few of the others at that store were fucked over by management and we're just there to help people however we could until a new job came along. Most days I'd be on customers and stock, they'd be on checkouts and doors. If they were only taking food we'd make sure they got out cause most had kids at home. My parents ran a restaurant and after service there would always be a staff meal and we'd let the waitresses take home buffet leftovers. We noticed one waitress would always want to stay late even though she had kids at home and never wanted to leave early. She would also always take home a to-go box from the buffet. My mom realized why she was staying late so started giving people a to-go box even if they left before we closed for the night. I was hoping to see this answer. I had a friend that walked around the store eating things. She was an entitled brat who got whatever she wanted at home. She'd get a thing of pistachios and leave a mess everywhere. I told her it was a shitty thing to do and she just laughed. Some people need the lesson, some people need the food. Edit, she also stole makeup, which really bothered me. I stopped a kid, unattended, 6 to 7y. Steal a candy bar. Because I didn't want them to get into a habit of stealing, and candy is not a necessity. At that age they don't get into legal trouble, but CPS may get a heads up this kid is wandering out alone and the family may get some help, or at least being told it can't happen again. I should add I live in Norway and if you're in need, you most likely qualify for aid. We are very naive and trusting and I'd like to keep it that way. That being said, I probably wouldn't say/do anything, or offer to pay for it. As a former grocery store employee I have to agree with you. I've seen people attempt to steal non-essential high-ticket items like alcohol, cosmetics, and expensive skincare creams. We've also had high school kids come in and try to steal junk food. My manager had me help him corner them and when I walked by that was when they began to make a dash for the door. Those are an entirely different story. Now if someone was trying to steal food for their kids or pets I saw nothing. I agree with this. Necessities are one thing. Luxury and/or expensive items are another. I had a friend a long time ago, we aren't friends anymore for reasons besides this, and she would brag about stealing expensive ingredients, like truffle oil. This girl grew up super rich, like drove a brand new Cadillac in high school rich, and clearly did it for the thrill. That sucked. I'm surprised by how many people would do nothing in this scenario. I'd walk over and just offer to buy the person groceries. I'd say you deserve to have food and the dignity to purchase it. No one has to know about this favor. I won't say a word. We can act like old friends at the counter if you want. Let's just get you some food that will last longer than just today. Junk food. To be fair here, junk food is one of the easiest and cheapest ways to get lots of calories into your body. And it doesn't go bad. So if you're starving it's much easier to steal a candy bar that has 500 calories and will never go bad than a loaf of bread that will go bad in a few days and is much larger. The reason we think of junk food as junk food is because they're empty calories. They don't make you feel full, but your body doesn't care. They're still calories. You'll still live. Sure, you're gonna want to eat a Flintstones vitamin once in a while but you'll be fine. So I'd look twice at the people stealing candy. They're the most calorie-dense foods in the store. If I were poor and starving, it's what I'd steal. I like this scenario less because they're stealing from you, and not the company. Not everyone can afford to lose any of what they pay for. I'm glad when you said something they were able to help the gentleman instead of firing him. This is not even a fable, it's a Bible story. You were the one getting stolen, but you chose to trust and help those in need and you were right. You're good. You're one of the rare genuinely good humans left. Kudos for having the presence of mind to call and inform management. I'm glad they helped the guy out. This is why I would look the other way if I saw this. If someone is at the point where they will steal for food, I can't bring myself to try to get in their way. It's something that has always fueled my drive to work, and push myself in my career field, the idea of it being able to afford food. I don't know you, but I love you. Thank you for having compassion. I hope you at some point share, this story with your kid. Mind my own business. When I worked as a supervisor at a grocery store, a woman asked to speak to a manager and I came over. She pulled me aside away from everyone and told me she consistently stole a lot of food from the store because she was in a bad place, and told me she's getting her life together and wanted to confess. She told me I could call the police if I felt that was necessary. I told her absolutely not, and she needs food more than the corporation needs money. And if stealing was the only way for her to eat, then she did what she had to do. She started to cry and thanked me. I'm forever glad that I was the one available to come talk to her, and that I didn't get higher up leadership to deal with the situation. They're technically who we were supposed to call when someone asked for a manager. I hope she's okay. I think about her a lot. There has been one exception to me minding my own business, and it was when I worked at the same grocery store, different location, and this old man would come in, open up a granola bar, and eat it while making aggressive eye contact with whatever employee was nearby. Hate that dude. He was weird. Did you ever hear that most grocery stores lose way more product to returns that can't be restocked than theft? Or that employee theft was way worse than consumer theft? I worked in a grocery store almost 20 years ago and heard that all the time. I'm sure the answer varies by store/location/etc., but I'm just curious if you ever heard anything similar.